Christopher Cantwell and Angel Unzueta continue their Korvac saga as Patsy Walker is taken on a journey within her own mind by Moondragon so she can unlock her psychic abilities and defeat Korvac once and for all. Christopher Cantwell pumps the brakes on the larger Korvac-centric arc to do some fantastic character work with Patsy Walker, diving headfirst and deep into the woman's complicated history in order to tackle some very difficult subjects like mental health. I thoroughly enjoyed a look back through her life and just how messed up her upbringing with her helicopter mother was, and how it became the basis for her fears, which she then conquers this issue and accepts them as her own. Learning from her past and taking on that pain and fear and not shutting it away was a great way to take her, and it's led to her getting her psychic powers back without her Hellstrom baggage or anything, even though that stuff is actually referenced here, which I really appreciate. Cantwell does a really great job of diving deep into these characters and diving deep into all of their history and pulling things up that you never would really expect to be pulled back up again. Angel Unzueta drops in to take over from Cafu for the issue and does a fantastic job elevating Cantwell's dramatic look at Patsy's shattered life. His look for the characters really gelled well with Cafu's already established designs for the series, and Frank D'Armata's colours were again beautiful, especially in the flashback stuff where it was meant to sort of take on the effect of like a 50s, 60s era comic, being that they were set in the 60s when Patsy's original book was released. Iron Man issue 8 was a great deviation from the main plot for an issue to shore up Patsy Walker's role in the series and explore her shattered past and bring it all together, building off past events to put Hellcat in a fantastic new role going forward and making her quite an integral part of the Iron Man series. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Iron Man issue 8 finds Halcyon and James dodging Korvac's incoming fire, but Rhodey begins having trouble shaking the fighter off their tail, hoping Halcyon will load up everything they've got, and Scarlet Spider and Misty will lay down some cover fire. The two heroes in the turret pods behind them open fire, but know that if Korvac doesn't back off, he's going to slam right into them. Misty asks if they have any missiles, since if they are to fire, it's going to hit her first, so she would appreciate some evasive maneuvers. The ship is peppered with gunfire and James loses the flight controls, making the ship maneuver slower. Halcyon brakes and flips the ship around Korvac's ship, making Frogman exclaim that he was excited to go to space, but now he really doesn't like it. Rhodey calls for Halcyon to fire the missile payload, so the hero does, as Hellcat meanwhile is called back to reality by Gargoyle. Patsy, however, finds herself in some type of dream world, told by a voice that she is physically safe. Patsy recognizes the voice as Moondragon's, as the former Guardian of the Galaxy shows herself, knowing it's been some while since they last met. Patsy remembers her taking her powers, so she thinks Moondragon isn't too happy she's been accessing them again. Moondragon, however, says that she is there to make Hellcat stronger with the powers. Moondragon senses Korvac's power despite her and the Guardians being very far away, and he must be stopped. So she's going to enhance Hellcat's mental powers, but Patsy isn't so sure that's a good idea, and besides, she's got good backup in the form of Iron Man, War Machine, and the others. Moondragon says that she'd rather be there with her, but she can't get there in time, and Korvac is quite psionically formidable, and he will try and weaken her, but the link between him and her makes Korvac vulnerable. Patsy tells Moondragon what the villain has shown her and the power she felt from it, but Moondragon knows that Korvac just wants to enslave them all, and no one thing can decide what everyone becomes. Patsy is worried that she'll lose her mind again if she taps into that power, but Moondragon reassures her that she is there to help her prevent that from happening, wanting to start with somewhere familiar. The heroes are teleported back to Centerville High, Patsy's former school. She soon spots Buzz, remembering how they used to be married and how they divorced and he turned into an evil mutated dog. The duo move into one of Patsy's classes, where Patsy tries to talk to one of her friends, Hetty, but they tell her to be quiet. Moondragon tells her to focus on the history test in front of her, but Patsy doesn't see how this matters to her powers, but Moondragon says it's not about the actual test, it's about knowing where the answers are, and they are locked inside inside her teacher's mind. Patsy looks into her teacher's head, getting to the answers of the test, but also learning that he's having an affair with another teacher. Moondragon gets Patsy to try and move the apple on his desk, getting her to throw it against the wall, angering the teacher who wants to know who did that. Later on in the hallways, the teacher comes to see Patsy, telling her that he was told that she was the one who pulled the stunt with the apple in the class. Patsy tries to explain it away, but the teacher tells her to go and see the principal for her actions. Moondragon thinks she should do that, and the hall's suddenly empty as she heads to the principal's office, horrified to learn that the leader of the school is Damon Hellstrom. Hellstrom says that he misses Patsy so much and wants her back. Patsy throws some chairs at the man, but the villain easily destroys them, not wanting Patsy to break his heart. Patsy is suddenly teleported into her old family home, where her mother talks to Hetty about the psychotic break her daughter just had and how it's making such a great story for her comic book. Hetty hopes that she'll be included in the story as well, as the women gleefully talk about how Patsy will do the right thing with the razor blade they give her and kill herself and spare them all from suffering, since all she is now is wretched filth and corrupted sin. Patsy suddenly awakens in a padded cell surrounded by a straitjacket, calling out to whoever is listening, telling them that she is better, hoping that Moondragon, Tony, or just someone else will come and help her. Moondragon tells her to breathe and let the thoughts dissipate. Patsy sees herself in the cell, asking who it is. Moondragon tells Hellcat that it is her fear of her own mind. Patsy begins to help her other self, told to free it with a soft touch. The jacket soon falls off the woman as Hellcat accepts this is part of her life. Moondragon says that Korvac is afraid of her, and if Hellcat isn't, she can win. Suddenly, Patsy is brought back into the real world, asking what the hell is happening as emergency sirens sound out. Scarlet Spider's guns soon jam as James tells the team that he's going to slam the brakes on and self-destruct the ship right in front of Korvac's ship and destroy them both. Korvac meanwhile knows Stark's ship is all show and no go, ordering Unicorn to fire on his mark. Hellcat rushes to James, telling him not to touch anything since she just needs 10 seconds, and then he can go through with whatever he needs to do with the engines. James says that this is their only chance, but Hellcat demands that he doesn't do anything, as suddenly Korvac is assaulted by the ghosts of his past, all who grab at him, calling him traitor and a coward, and he will always belong to them and be their slave. Korvac explodes with power, engulfing his own ship as James finds it dropping off from their pursuit. He takes the ship into hyperspace as Gargoyle gets to work containing the engines and activating the fire suppression systems. In the downpour of water, Patsy notices that Tony is missing, asking the team where the hero is.